why don't we just take a moment, because this is kind of like, part of the training, and it should be treated as almost like our asana, where we begin with like a little bit of chanting. So why don't we just sit up tall, right? Maybe close the eyes, nice tall spine. Think about the Sushumna, right? Being clear and free. Nice free channel for energy to flow from the base all the way up through the crown. You can imagine like that being just very clear channel. Right, letting your shoulders relax and letting go of any other tension that you might be holding on to, any surface tension. Relax the face. Right, take a couple deep breaths. And let's come into Anjali Mudra. Right, just setting the intention of learning, right, enriching our lives with knowledge, esoteric wisdom, this wonderful wisdom that's been passed down for thousands of years, and how we may apply it to our lives and help others, right, do the same. And let's open with 3 vibrations of Om. Right, so nice deep breath in. Floating the eyes open when you're ready. So let's get into the chakras. So the chakra literally means wheel, right? So it's wheels of energy in the body that are located along the spine, the Sushumna or the Brahmanadi. But there are thousands of chakras in the body, and these are just the most dominant, prominent ones you want to say. I joke about Dharma saying there's 72,000 psychic channels in the body, right? He's talking about the chakras, but that's how he said it, 72,000 psychic channels. So we can go over them, and we'll start with the base of the spine and go up, right? So the base of the spine, right, the root chakra is Muladhara chakra. So can you guys say Muladhara? Muladhara. 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 And that, the color is red, so they kind of go, they're like the colors of the rainbow, and they go, up the spine. The next one, it says in here, 1 inch or 2 above the base of the spine. So it's the sacral chakra. And the color is orange, and it's Svadhisthana. Svadhisthana. It's like the V's are W's in Sanskrit, so it's more like Svadhisthana. So whenever you see like a V, like Svaha, it's really Swaha. Adho Mukha Svanasana, not Svanasana. It takes a while, but that's kind of like, I'll point these things out as I see them. The next one is the height of the navel, the solar plexus. The color is yellow, and it's Manipura chakra. And then we have the heart center, green, and that's Anahata. Anahata. The base of the throat is blue, Vishuddha. Vishuddha. So the blues get a little, like think of like a classic blue, like a regular blue, and then as you come up to the space between the brows, it gets like an indigo purpley blue, like a purpley blue. You ever see like that color? That is Agya chakra, Agya. So J and N together, like Jnana, it's Agya, Agya, like Jnana, Agya. I may be wrong on that. That's how I was taught, but like I said, other people may pronounce it. We can actually probably look it up, and sometimes it say this, and it will say it. Or YouTube is a good, because there'll probably be like somebody that's really studied in this stuff would probably say it. And sometimes I hear it and I'm like, oh, I've been saying it wrong the whole time. But as far as I know, looking at the transliteration and the J and the N together, it's Agya chakra. And then the next one is kind of hard to say. It's Sahasrara. Sahasrara. It doesn't roll off the tongue. Sahasrara. And we could ask Bharati about it also, because it's hard to say. I usually just call it the crown. And that's violet, so that's like, up here. But some people think of the crown as being like white light also. So they're gonna find like different schools, methods, are going to say things a little bit differently. But that's basically all of them. And this breathing that I want to do with you guys, it's called sound breathing, but it's really chanting. This is a technique that I've done with Dharma. I typically just read it because it's better than me trying to describe it. I do have my glasses, I'm so happy. I love this exercise, it's just amazing. So sound breathing, the color body or personal aura can be seen by those with psychic abilities. I don't know if you've seen that. Color photography, they capture your aura photography. They do it in Wurtsboro, where at the Crystal Connection. I've never done it, but I was like, oh, that seems so cool. And apparently it captures your color aura. So it says it can be seen by those with psychic abilities. It surrounds the body like an egg. So imagine like your aura is like an egg around the body. But the colors are often out of balance due to our emotional reactions to what we are passing through. It is said that the aura of one who does spiritual practice often extends far beyond the physical body, 6 feet out in all directions. So somebody has like a really solid practice, spiritual practice, they say that their aura is far-reaching beyond the body, like 6 feet out in all directions. The color body is the only true defense against psychic attacks or the negative thoughts of others, right? How many of us need a protection from psychic attacks? So, and the negative energy. You don't even have to speak to people these days. You can just feel the negative energy, or you feel like you're being attacked with just a look or that energy. So this is like a mighty fortress, right? It's a true defense. A healthy, balanced aura lets the good in, but is also a protection of anything negative from coming in. So sound breathing helps to balance the colors and focus the minds. It consists of chanting all 6 sounds. So there are 6 sounds with this one. The last one is silent, the 7th. Try to sustain the sound for as long and as loud as you can reasonably manage. And ideally, if you're doing this, you can do 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, but 1 round is sufficient. Sound breathing restores and generates positive colors. Not right now, Tara. Sorry. I'll edit that out. What was I saying? Generates positive colors, exercises the vocal cords, expands the lungs, improves the voice and concentration, and calms the mind. I got to do something with this because my book's falling apart. Okay, so this is the fun part. So we're going to start with Muladhara chakra, the red chakra, the base of the spine. And we're going to bring our awareness or our focus to the abdominal area. So it's not necessarily it's not necessarily focusing on Muladhara, it's just the lowest 3 chakras. So it can be Muladhara, Svadhisthana, Manipura, anything this lower part of the body. But we're gonna picture the color red, and for this we wanna sit up tall. So we're gonna actually do it together now. Yep. Oh, it's cutting off my head. I somehow messed with it. So the sound for this one, and I'll wait till everybody's like all situated. The sound for this one is ah, right? So it's like an om, but the sound is gonna be ah. We take a nice deep breath in, you're picturing the color red, you're bringing your awareness to the lower 3 chakras, and you're gonna just chant ah for as long as you can until you run out of breath, right? Red, lower chakras, the sound is ah. So let's sit up nice and tall. We'll take a deep breath in. I notice when we chant and we do work with the chakras, a lot of the sounds, you can feel the vibration in the area that is being stimulated. So I don't know if you guys felt that vibration kind of coming from the lower. And with my eyes closed, I don't know if it's because it's a sunny day, I could literally see red. It's like really, I don't know if you could become more attuned with these things over time or whatever, but it's pretty cool. The next one, we're going to focus on like the respiratory region and the heart center. So think about the lungs and the heart. So Anahata is green and the color is green, and then the sound is going to be you. So we're just going to take a deep breath and then chant you. So green, heart center, lungs, right? Take a nice deep breath. And I can feel that vibration here. The next one is going to be at the base of the throat, so Vishuddha chakra. And the sound is so, and the color is blue, so just like a regular color blue. And it's so. So take a nice deep breath in. Next one, it's eyes, ears, and sinuses. So now we're gonna go to like a not quite indigo, but just like a darker, deeper shade of blue. So eyes, ears, right, sinuses. The sound is E, so it's like you're smiling. So we'll take a nice deep breath in. Next one is sun with an N. This is indigo, so the tongue is pressed up against the upper palate. This is for the brain, and the vibration and releases impurities into the bloodstream. So now we're visualizing that purpley blue. We're focused on like the brain and the pineal gland. And the sound is sun with an N. So nice deep breath in. Sun. I can actually feel my brain vibrating. And the next one is Sum with an M, and this one is violet. This helps, you can still bring your awareness like crown, above the crown, this whole area. And this is to improve mental sharpness, right? So it's sung with an M. So nice deep breath in. Sum. Right, and then we're just gonna stay with the eyes closed just for a little bit. So again, just keeping that channel free, spine is lifted, shoulders relaxed. Just notice any subtle changes in the body. Not just the body, but the face, the head, the crown, right? The spine, the heart. Maybe you feel like vibrating still. You can picture your color aura. You can imagine it extending out. That protective egg, right? Just kind of enclosing you in a safe space with keeping that negative energy, those psychic attacks, those negative psychic attacks of others, right? That protection. But the good is allowed in, but it won't let the negative in. And then when you're ready, you can just slowly float the eyes open. So it is really interesting, the sounds, how I was feeling it here, and then especially like the throat, you know, and the stimulating in the brain, and like it's really powerful. And I feel like the more I do it, the more I like really believe in this stuff. In the beginning, it was like, oh, it's cool, but I don't know. But years and years of like, you know, it's like this stuff is becoming like this is my truth. Like these things are trustworthy, and I really, you know, it's kind of woo-woo to imagine that there's colors coming off your body, and it's kind of woo-woo to imagine like this energy field of 6 feet, but what's so bad about that? Like, why can't I imagine that? Just the whole idea of it is helping me. Right? If I imagine that I'm protected from negativity, if I'm, how is that going to change how I carry myself? I'm going to feel more secure. I'm going to feel more at peace in my body. So I believe in this stuff. All of this training, take what you like, leave the rest. It's all good. The next one, we're going to go over the Bija mantras. These are listed in your manual. I also have them here. I just want to make sure they match. Ram, Yam, Om. Okay. So again, we're going to do a little exercise focusing on Muladhara chakra, the root chakra, the base of the spine. We know the color of the root chakra is what? Red. And the sound is Lam. So I'm going to chant, and then you guys repeat, and then I'm going to chant and you guys repeat, right? We do this with Dharma. I really love this. Is like near and dear to me. Lam, 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 lam. 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 Next one is Vam, right? An inch or two above the base of the spine. Svadhisthana, the color is orange. Vam, 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 vam. 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 Next one, Manipura chakra. It's the one, think of solar plexus. It's the height of the navel and the spine. And the sound is Ram. Ram, 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 ram.
Ram, 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 ram.
Ram, 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 ram.
Ram, 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 ram.
Next one, Anahata chakra, that is the heart. The color is green, so it's at the heart's level in the spine. And the sound is yam. Yum, 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 yum.
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 Next one, the base of the throat and the spine, Vishuddha chakra. The sound is hum. Hum, 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 hum.
Hum, 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 hum.
Hum, 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 hum.
Hum, 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 hum.
So the next one is the third eye, Agya chakra. It's the sound is Om. It's a space between the brows. Om, 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 Om.
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 And then just like the other exercise, let's stay, right, for a few moments with the eyes closed. You can bring your awareness to the crown, right, silence, Sahasrara chakra. When you're ready, just floating the eyes open, nice and slow. Right, so these are just two really useful ways that I like to do work with the sound, work with the chakras. In the book, there's another exercise I can also, it's very similar to the sound one, but it's not as detailed. So like sometimes when I do like a morning class, like a nice gentle or restorative class, I'll have people lie down and we'll chant the vowel sounds, and I'll just have them bring their awareness to that part, try to pay attention to the vibration, and it's like o, u, ah, a, e, you know, and it's really amazing. This, I definitely would recommend this book. Like it talks about the plow pose, fish pose, how to just like, because when they talk about the chakras being blocked, right, you hear of like a lot of times the throat, people can't find their voice. It can manifest as like shoulder pain, things like that. And when you open that chakra, people are able to like speak their truth. It could be like a sexual thing, like usually Svadhisthana is like this area is like sexual energy. It could be blocked sexual energy, so it can't make its way up because it's being pushed down. It could be like heart or lungs, like lung issues, heart problems, like the channel is blocked, you know? So we don't think like normal people in society would be like, oh, okay, well, if my throat hurts, I'm gonna go see a doctor and get medicine. Well, it could be maybe you need to chant more, maybe you need to open up the chakra and get things flowing better, right? Or like stomach, like, you know, you need maybe to do some like spiritual work and get things like coming up the spine. So, you know, it's, again, it's a matter of, if you don't believe it, it's probably not going to work, right? If you do have faith in it, it probably will. And that's basically it. But I'm just trying, if there's anything else of interest in here that I think would help you guys, I will definitely screenshot it and send it in a document. So I'm not gonna do the email format anymore. I'm just gonna put together like Word documents or PDFs.
Are there mudras for your stuff, chakra?
You know, I've not really heard of mudras for chakras before, but yantras. Yantras. So each chakra has a yantra. Like Anahata chakra, the yantra is this, it looks like a star.
Yeah.
The
shapes.
You can see it a bit
On here, they
on what you gave us too.
Is there in there?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
it's in the color, you can see.
Oh,
yeah,
a little
the-
symbology.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them are blacked, you know, because it's, oh, I have black and white. You guys, some of you have color. Yeah, so they're more like yantras. So mudras, I don't think that they do associate with them. But yeah, the mudras are really important also for meditation, for desired result or like concentration or wisdom and stuff like that. So yeah, I did want to go over a couple other things with you guys too while we have the time. Does anybody have any questions about the chakras or anything like that? So yantra, like the sacred painting with Mavis, she paints the yantras and it's all geometrical. It's like numerology and colors and things like that. Like I'd love to attend it. I think we were talking about that. I would love to attend it sometimes. It just seems like every time it comes around, I am not available. I have something else going on. But in some people, there is such a thing as yantra yoga. People get really into like doing the paintings, and it's a whole thing in itself. It really is a whole thing in itself. Basically, these are the things like sometimes with Dharma, we just chant. We just chant some, like in the beginning of class, for that clarity. He doesn't go through the whole thing. We'll just do a little pranayama before practice, and then he'll say, everybody take a deep breath. And everyone's like humming, and sometimes I do see like the violet or the purple or whatever, but it creates that clarity in the brain, and you can feel the vibration. Are you guys familiar with like the pineal gland and the third eye, and how it's not really located here? It's like back and deep, and yeah.
The Brahman's cave.
What's that?
In the Brahman's cave.
The Brahman's cave. I never heard it called that. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, so you're stimulating that when you're doing those, and just like the Om, the vibration, it doesn't just end when the sound is gone. Like I don't know if you felt it, but when I was sitting, I could feel this vibrating happening still, even though the sound was gone. It's like the vibration does continue on. We do have this that I'm going to send you guys this week, the Sanskrit asana vocabulary. We can go through them now just quickly. There's quite a few very useful things in here, especially if you are interested in the Sanskrit, if you're interested in the pose names. If you're not, it's all good, right? If you don't want to, if you want to just call it seated forward fold, standing forward fold, upward salute, it's totally fine. I find this fascinating, and she's got it all put together here over the years, finding out, oh, Ardha means half, or that. She's got it all here. So yoga is union, right? To join, unite, attach, connect, yoke, right? Union with the Supreme through deep meditation, through concentration, contemplation, samadhi, the system of philosophy established by Patanjali. Right, closely paired with Sankhya philosophy, which we're not going to get into, but she's into. And it's not on any. I have the chart at home of the Sankhya. It's the one in the meditation room. Yeah. Asana, as to sit.
Oh, the bird. Hello.
What happened?
The bird on the window.
Oh, I was like, what? Hello, birdie.
Oh.
Goodbye, birdie. Yeah, to sit. So if you think of asana, vrikshasana, tree pose, to take a seat as a tree. Sukhasana, take an easy seat. Like I always think of it that way, like dancer pose, Nantarajasana, to take a seat as a dancer or whatever, That's how I look at it. And then she's got Ardha. Ardha does mean half. So if you think of like Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, it's in the name. Chatur, like we said, Chaturanga Dandasana, 4-limbed staff pose, low plank. Actually, while I'm bringing that up, this does make me think of something that I maybe forgot to mention. Ashtanga Namaskara, knees, chest, chin. It's called Ashtanga because Ashtanga means 8. And when you're doing knees, chest, chin, there are 8 points touching the floor. Ashtanga is also a style of yoga, but Ashtanga is also the 8 limbs. We practice Ashtanga yoga, which is 8-limbed science, but we don't necessarily practice Ashtanga yoga. Kind of like the Hatha Hatha thing,
Yes.
where Hatha is all yoga's Hatha, but there's a style called Hatha. The 8-limb science is called Ashtanga, but there's also a style called Ashtanga. So they took the good names and they made them styles, right? Ashtanga is, it's hard. It's like Pattabhi Jois. He's the one that kind of developed Ashtanga. It's like the Sun A's, the Sun B's. You have the primary, the secondary. It's a very rigorous practice of yoga. So Ashtanga just means 8 limbs, but it's also the style. So that I just wanted, when I saw the 4-limbed, I thought of the 8-point Ashtanga Namaskara, and I wanted to throw it in there. Adha or Adho is downward. So Adho Mukha Svanasana, that's your downward facing dog. Apanasana, do you guys know it's actually called wind relieving pose. It's what they call it in yeah. This is called Apanasana. It's wind relieving pose. That's literally what it's called, wind relieving.
And whomever, and I pose. That's funny.
And sometimes people do relieve wind in yoga class, and that happens.
Yeah, like you're trying to fart a baby. You know, you like push their legs up.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you, yeah, definitely. I'm not going to go over all of these, but like Urdhva is upward, like Urdhva Dhanurasana, Urdhva Hastasana, like upward. Utkata, intense, powerful. Utkatasana, chair pose, also known as fierce pose. Dharma calls chair pose fierce pose. Utkata. Uttana is intense stretching, lengthening, like Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Parivrita always means revolved, like Parivrita, Parshvakonasana, Parivrita, Trikonasana. Parivrita just means revolved. Parshva is the side of the body, like Parshvottanasana would be our side angle pose. There's other ones. I'll give you all of these. Paschima is back of the body, Paschimottanasana. I've heard a lot of people destroy the name of this pose. They call it Paschimottanasana, like they call it all different things. It's Paschimottanasana, and that's our seated forward fold. Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose or cobbler pose. Supta means recline. So Supta Baddha Konasana is just reclined bound angle pose. Supta Baddha Konasana. And I didn't get any mushroom soup today. I forgot. And every time I have soup, I say I'm gonna heat up a bowl of Supta Baddha Konasana. I always call soup Supta Baddha Konasana. I can't help myself because I'm corny like that. Pada is foot, hasta is hand. So pada, hasta. Let's see. Mukha is face. Mukha. Adho Mukha, Vrikshasana is handstand. I'm trying to think of what else. Gamukhasana, Mukha. Gamukhasana, cow facing pose. Cow facing pose is like this one. Yeah. So Mukha is face. Shirsha, head. Shirshasana. Janu is knee, Janu Shirshasana. Kapala is skull, right? So we talked about our Kapalabhati breathing. It's actually skull shining breath is what it's called. And it's the burst of air, right? Forceful exhale, passive inhale. The inhales just happen, but you're forcing the air out. Shava is corpse or dead body, just like Shavasana. Surya, who knows Surya? What's Surya?
Surya, sun.
Oh, I didn't tell you. Surya is sun, like Surya Namaskara. Tada is mountain, Tadasana. Tadasana. Tara is star, so Tarasana. Tarasana is our star pose, and that's this pose here. I love doing star. Right, so star is a yantra for the heart chakra. So right now, this is the tip of my star. My elbows are points of my star, and my knees. So I'm like a 5-pointed star. And when you're in Tadasana, you can focus on your heart and picture the color green. I always love to do that, and that's your Tadasana. So different from Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana, bound ankle, right? It's like cobbler, where star is this, you know, you're further away, you're folding over, and you're making the points of the star.
What's that one, where you're standing with arms and feet?
People call that star pose. I don't really know. I don't call it star. I know what it is because when Dina was like star and we were standing,
Yes.
I'm like, wait, it must be this one.
Yes.
I will look that up because I don't know.
And I'm wondering what tradition that's actually from.
I don't, you know, there are so many added
Yeah.
things along the years like that. I'm just like, there's the super soldier pose. I'm like, what? I did a pose that I saw online and I'd never done it before. I don't know what it's called, and it would just looked really neat, and I did it. It was nice. No idea what it's called. You will not find it in the old hatha books. Like I looked through. Goddess pose is not in any of those books.
Really?
Regular goddess pose.
Wow.
So we call it Kalyasana or Durgasana. We give it like a goddess name and just add asana. It's also Utkatasana. Utkatasana is chair.
Yeah.
Utkatasana is goddess side. But don't back it up.
Chair.
Scratch that. I have to look it up, but I think it's also
I
called
wonder if that's a
Utkatasana.
Kundalini.
It could be. Yeah,
It comes from.
it could be. So like I've heard of things star, like rock star,
Oh, the rock
mermaid, like
The rock stars when
yin.
you
Yeah, they
kick the
flip
leg
over and they
over.
kick the leg over.
Like
Yeah, rock star. And people are like, go do rock star. I'm like, what? But whatever, I get it, and that's what they call it. And now I know there's variations of like Kapotasana pigeon pose that they call mermaid, and it's really just a variation of Kapotasana. And so and then in yin they're all their own names. Like pigeon is like deer pose or something. Swan maybe. I don't know anything about yin. I like taking Gina's yin class, but I don't know anything about yin. But they have all the poses are different names than what I call them, and that's new. Yin is newish. So Vriksha is tree. Vrikshasana is our tree pose. Chandra is moon, so Ardha Chandrasana. So that blends two of the things we learn, half moon. Padma is lotus. So lotus pose is, you know, with the legs is this, full lotus. But there's also lotus mudra, which I really love. So this would be called Padmasana, and this is lotus mudra. And this mudra is really beautiful because it's not only like invites love, but it's also used when people are feeling very misunderstood in life. Like, you ever feel like very misunderstood, like people just don't get me, like, and you want it, and it also eases loneliness, Padmasana, or Padma mudra. It's really beautiful. So I love that. Bala is just child, so balasana would be our child's pose. Ashva. So equestrian pose you asked me about.
Yeah.
Equestrian pose is Ashva Sanchalanasana. So it's just the English translation of Ashva Sanchalanasana, and it's that pose here. It's just this pose. It's like not quite a low lunge, and it's not really like, I don't know but that's what it's called. It's called equestrian, and that's old school. That's like, it's been like that for a long time. So that's not a new. Ushtra is camel, Ushtrasana. Kapotasana is our pigeon. Kapotasana. So Kapo, my teacher after my training, my Dharma teacher Jeff used to have us come up and he would say, bring your leg up, inhale, exhale, come into Kapyasana. And everybody would go into Kapotasana. And I'm like, he said Kapyasana. So I would come up like this and everybody else would be in pigeon and he's like, look at the teacher. So I was in the right pose. But Kapotasana, right, is the pigeon. And Eka is one, Pada is feet, and Raja is king. So the full variation of the pose, which is the funnest pose name to say ever, is Eka Pada Raja Kapotasana. So Eka Pada Raja Kapotasana. Yeah, Eka one, Pada foot, Raja king, Kapotasana pigeon. So one-legged king pigeon pose, Eka Pada Raja Kapotasana. It's funny, right, to say, like it's a very long, I could say it all
that's
day long.
great.
It's funny, right? Kaka is crow, Kakasana. I will say Malasana, right? It's not Malasana. Talk to Bharati. It's Malasana, just like mala beads, right? They're not mala, they're Malasana, because mala means poop.
You gotta be careful.
You have to be careful.
Because that could be a poop
And
pose.
Malasana, yeah, means garland pose. And we figured it out. It's like when you're here like this, it makes like there's like a garland around your neck, like a mala bead, like your. So that's it's just interesting. Because my friend Asmita is Indian and she does yoga with me at Powerhouse, and we do Malasana. She looked at me and I'm like, what? She's like, you know what that means? And I'm like, it's the way you say it. It makes a difference. And she's told me what it meant. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why I call it Malasana. And she's just like funny. But, so let's see. We'll get through some of the other, this is just the last page here. Oh no, we have one quick page. So Bhujanga is a serpent or snake or cobra. So Bhujangasana will be our cobra pose. Beka is frog, so Bekasana would be our frog pose. There are two frog poses as well. So frog pose can be this one here, which most people, this one, which I'm not going to do because I'm full from lunch and I don't want to do it. But the other one, the other frog is like this would be considered like half frog with the fingertips pointing this way with both feet, which I can never do. As soon as I let go of my arm, I'm falling out, but some people can do it with both. And that would be full frog. So I usually only ever do like a half frog like that. But they're both frog pose. And it's Beka. Let's see. Palaka is plank. Palakasana is plank pose. I almost never hear a teacher say, come into Palakasana.
Yeah.
Like that. It's always plank. You're not gonna, it's just, some things are just, you're not gonna say it, really. Danda is stick or staff. So we have our Dandasana. Dandasana is our staff pose. My hands don't reach the floor. I don't know if you guys can reach. This angers me beyond no end that I can't reach the floor. Try it, see if you can. So you want the legs outstretched, the feet are up, and see if you can you? Yeah. You can do it. Jealous. God, everybody, if I sit straight up, my hands,
That's so interesting.
I have a long torso. My torso is very long.
Yeah.
So like whenever I sit at like a high stool, like at a like where there's like a bar or something, and I'm sitting next to someone, I tower over them because I'm taller from here to here than I am my whole body. So I used to, like, Tony and I would go to this place and he'd look at, he's like, how are you taller than me? He's like, you're not taller than me. I'm like, no, I'm just taller. This part of my body is taller than this part of your body. That's all. But yeah, I can't, unless I lean back, I cannot get my hands. So that kind of, you know, inhibits like jumping through and stuff. But I'm over it. Like, I'm over it. I don't need to. It's okay. I don't need to jump through. I don't.
It's the ego.
It's the ego, yeah. I'm just like, oh, I wish I had like a half-inch longer, but it's all good. It's all good. Let's see. So Danyu is bow, like Dhanyurasana, bow pose. Let's see. Anjani. Anjaneyasana is Lord Hanuman's mother.
Oh.
Anjaneyasana, crescent moon pose. I didn't know that, I don't think. Yeah, so I learned something new. And then Garuda. Garuda is Lord Vishnu's vehicle. It's an eagle. Garudasana. So it's like Garudasana. I'll never forget being at a class and somebody like came in. So this is our eagle arms, right? And the teacher said, everybody take Garuda arms. And I was like, Garuda? What the heck is she talking about? Garuda. It's Garudasana, but I would never say Garuda arms. I would say eagle arms.
Yeah.
Garuda it doesn't even sound Sanskrit. It sounds like a gorilla or I don't know what it sounds like, but she said, yeah, find your Garuda arms. And I was like, oh no. So sometimes, you know, it's one thing to not want to say the Sanskrit, it's another to say the Sanskrit improperly, incorrectly. It's almost like I'd rather you not say it at all. It's one thing if you're trying and you're practicing and you get it wrong or whatever, but like if you're confidently saying, come into Garuda arms, like that's just not, that didn't sit right with me, but I would have rather said eagle arms than Garuda.
So it's not essential to use the correct language if you can't pronounce
If
it.
you
That's
can't,
it.
yeah. It doesn't do it any honor or justice. Like, you know, this is like an ancient language. I would say if you're going to use the Sanskrit, like, just check, make sure that the way you're saying it is proper. You know, you're saying it the proper way. And not making up stuff or shortening it or changing it, and you know, just because it's like easier to say or something, you know, I don't know.
Is this in the exam?
No.
But you'll send us.
I'm gonna send you guys these. Yeah. This is really good to know. Just for your information, people may ask you about certain poses. It's nice to have a little information about them. You know, if somebody's, you know, it's just good to know, period. Nataraja is the dancing form of Lord Shiva, so I think we have, the dancing form, so it's like that, you know, dancing Shiva. What's that?
What is that called?
Nataraja. So the pose is called Natarajasana. Natarajasana is the dancer, you know, this pose here. And full Nataraj is being able to grab the foot
Over there.
behind. Yeah, we do it with straps sometimes, but full Natarajasana is grab the foot. Let's see. Vira is hero. That's our Virasana, hero pose. Virabhadra is the name of a powerful hero created by Lord Shiva from his matted hair. I wasn't under the impression that he was a hero. I thought it was a demon, Virabhadra.
Isn't that funny?
But yeah, I thought it was a demon, but I could be wrong. Here it says a powerful hero made from his dread. He cut a dread and it turned into this demon. I thought that killed everybody at a party, and then he had to destroy Virabhadra, and it was the whole story behind it was the warrior, like, warrior 1 is like he gets his sword, warrior 2, he's pulling the sword back, warrior 3, he's chopping the head off the demon, like Virabhadrasana 1, Virabhadrasana 2, Virabhadrasana 3. That's how it was described to me, that someone told me. I don't know if you remember Sean from years ago, the Indian guy that used to come here, Sean Navanavara. Really nice guy. He used to tell us all these like myths and stories about the poses, and that's
is that in Bhagavad Gita? Or is that from
No,
different,
no.
It's just from other stories?
it's just from like, you know, and I had a book about it was about the poses, like a lot of the poses are named after deities, like Hanumanasana, Natarajasana. I can't think right now. There's, you know, there's poses that are dedicated to Shiva. But so I had a book that talked about asana and like the stories behind it,
Yeah.
like had a backstory.
Wow.
Yeah.
This way then.
Yeah,
It was fun. It was like, it was a great book, and I don't know what happened to that book. That's I don't know what happened. So the next one is Hanuman is a devotee of Sri Rama and Mother Sita. It says he flew across the ocean in his monkey form to find Sita Ma and help to free her. Hanumanasana is Hanuman pose, the split. And then it just lists here the bandhas, which we already talked about. There's a one on the bottom, which I don't agree with, but you guys can take it how you like. We talked about Jalandhara Bandha. We talked about Mula Bandha, which is the root. We talked about Uddiyana Bandha, and it says here, Bandha Traya, triple lock. So I don't see how you can do all 3 bandhas at the same time. Because you're pushing the breath out, you're sucking in, you're pulling up, and you're closing. I've never done it, but maybe it's possible. But she has that on here.
Practice.
If you ask Dharma will say you can't do all 3 at the same time. That's what he says, but that's,
Interesting.
oh, and then it talks about pranayama. So, Puraka is inhaling, Rechaka is exhaling. There was another one that you hold the breath out, and I believe that's Kumbhaka. So, it's not on there, but it's in the Science Pranayama book. Puraka, Rechaka, and Kumbhaka. But that's it. That's all of that stuff. Let's see what time is it. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna send you guys this. I will screenshot the sound healing that we did, the sound breathing. It's called sound breathing. I'll send you information on the muscles that we covered today. And while we have a few minutes left, why don't we do like a little bit of review? So let's do a little review. Okay, so some of the things that I will ask you repeatedly. What is the meaning of yoga? Union. Yep. Let's see. What is, do you guys remember the Sutra 1.2, which is like, it sums up all of yoga by Patanjali? It's, yeah, Yoga's Chitta Vritti Nirodha. It's Sutra 1.2. Yoga is the cessation of the mind chatter, or the cessation of the modifications of the mind. It's also pronounced, or it's also described that way. Yoga's Chitta Vritti Nirodha. We'll chant it a little bit before we leave, just to keep it in your brain. Hopefully throughout the week you guys are like, Yoga's Chitta. It would be good to get it stuck in there. So the chitta is the mind, vritti is the chatter, nirodha is the removal or the cessation. Let's go over like just a couple paths, just because I know that sometimes we brain dump when we learn new information, we dump old information to make room for new information. Let's just name a few paths of yoga. So what would some paths be? Like, more specifically,
Karma.
Oh,
Yeah.
Non-violence.
what's that?
Non-violence. Non-violence.
Well, we're talking about paths
We're
as in,
all three
I
of
know.
us are gonna
No,
do
it's
it.
I love it. I love it.
You know what? Let's do it again.
So paths meaning like
The paths
like hatha yoga, raja. Yeah.
Raja.
Oh, you said karma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bhakti, jnana is wisdom. Yeah. So those are the paths. This is why we go over it. We're just gonna repetition.
Yeah, the other ones
repetition.
are over limbs.
Yeah.
The
So it
limbs
gets
are-
confusing, right? Yeah.
Limbs path.
So the paths are it's more like the style, right?
No, it's not the style. It is the path to the goal. The path to the goal. It's not. I wouldn't call it the style
Okay.
because hatha is a path, but there is a hatha style that has nothing to do with the path. This is the hardest concept to try to explain. It's all yoga is hatha, but over the years, a style of practice came about and they decided to call it hatha yoga. And people associate it with longer holds still, but it doesn't change the fact that vinyasa is hatha, yin is hatha, jivamukti is hatha. It's all hatha. It's almost like the word hatha has two separate meanings. It means a style and it also means a path. That's why I was trying to explain Ashtanga as well. Ashtanga means 8 limbs, but it's also a style of yoga. It's like saying, Ananda ashram, right? I don't know if this is gonna work. Okay, so Ananda ashram, we are an ashram, a spiritual ashram. And then somebody decides to teach a class somewhere and they call it Ananda. Are they the same? The class is not the same as the ashram. It's two different, but they just happen to use the same name. So all of yoga is hatha, all of it. So that's why it's a path, but the actual physical style of hatha is different than, they're two different. And so I apologize. I'm just going to keep going over it because I don't know how else to kind of describe it, And how many limbs of yoga are there?
8.
Right. And what does Ashtanga mean? 8.
Yeah.
Right, Ashtanga is 8. What is the yama associated with nonviolence? Yep, ahimsa or ahimsa. What is the yama that is associated with restraint, like sexual restraint and good sex?
So it begins with B.
It begins with a B. Brahmacharya. Which of the niyamas is associated with like to burn up, to purify? Tapas. Yep, tapas. Let's see. I'm just going through, and can you guys?
I thought tapas was self-discipline.
It is.
Oh.
Tapas is, but the root word tap means to burn, like fire. And like if you think about discipline, austerity, it's kind of like a burning is happening, a purification is happening when you're disciplined and you have, like, think of, even if you're physically working out, your body temperature is you're purifying, it's discipline. So it is discipline, but it's also means, the root word tap means to burn or to heat. Does anyone want to try to name the 8 limbs of yoga? Like just rattle them off?
I think I
Don't look at us.
I think I could do it.
I trained this week.
Do it.
Yama, Nyama, Pranayama, Asana. No, sorry. Yama, Yana, Yama, Asana, Pranayama, Prarahata, Darya, Dhyana, and the last one is M.
S.
Samadhi.
Samadhi.
So very close.
Yeah.
Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara,
Gotcha.
dharana,
Dharma.
dhyana,
Yeah.
samadhi. Yeah.
Samadhi.
Yeah, that was good though. That was very good. Yeah, just keep doing it. Keep
Yama. Yeah.
Yama niyama asana.
Sing.
We'll sing that too. We'll sing that, and we'll sing the Yoga Chitta Vritti. You know it. So as far as like the skeleton of the body, like which skeleton houses like the vital organs?
Ribs.
Which skeleton? So there's two.
Yeah, it's the one in the
axial.
airplane.
Yeah, it's called the axial. Axial.
Okay, axial.
So the axial skeleton is is the skull, the vertebral column, the ribs. It's in the picture. Yeah, axial. And then appendicular is like the limbs, the arms, the legs. Even the clavicle is part of the appendicular. It's not part of the axial. Appendicular, axial. That is on the.
So the
That is on.
appendicular is actually parts that move, and the other parts are
Not necessarily that move. It's just that the skeleton is like it's classified into two different. Does anyone have the pic? Oh,
Yeah,
AJ
that's
had
the
the picture.
one. No, the one she sent to us this week.
In the email,
Yeah.
and it highlights the axial and then it highlights the appendicular. So axial, if you think about it, it's just, it houses the brain, very important, the heart, all the vital organs. So the axial skeleton
And that's
is
the
like,
front.
it's not
The
really the
front and the back.
front, it's the skull, the spine, the rib cage, the tailbone. Everything else is the appendicular. Your clavicle is part of the appendicular. The arms are part of the appendicular.
That's different
the
than
legs.
the lateral.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So there is a question on the exam about. I think the question is, which name the skeleton that houses the.
That picture.
Okay.
I remember
Yeah.
the picture.
Why they break them up into two different, I have no idea. But like any anatomy class you go to, they're gonna talk about the appendicular and the axial skeleton.
Was it the houses then?
Vital organs. So just the vital organs, like the heart, that's what the rib cage is for, like to protect. And then the skull protects like the brain.
Yeah, I was gonna print.
Yeah.
I need to get to a printer this week.
The library one.
I said, yeah, I need to get to a library and print out. a bunch of
Print it
stuff.
out.
I can
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I'll make a copy.
I don't have a printer,
Yes.
which
I do.
really stinks.
Yeah.
That's why I use
I can
UPS.
create things for us if you guys need.
You guys can I'm good. I have everything like electronically and stuff. But it's hard for me to print. And one of these days I'm gonna get a printer, but not today. So what is the largest bone in the body? Do you guys remember the largest bone?
The femur.
Yeah, the femur. Yeah, it's because it's huge. It's just this big giant bone. Do you remember what the largest nerve in the body is?
Vegas.
No, you said that the first time too.
Yeah.
So
I
funny.
do like that. I would make it
Because in
this
my mind, this is what
Like
it is.
it's-
I don't know.
It's the sciatica.
Sciatica. Oh, wow.
is the largest.
How could
Yeah.
I forget that?
Yeah, we'll be talking about the vagus nerve next week. We're going to talk about parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system, fight, flight, respond. There's also an enteric nervous system. Enteric. It's part of the digestive. Yeah, it's kind of like it used to be fight or flight. Now it's fight, flight, or freeze. It used to be rest, digest. It's now rest, digest, repair. So they've kind of added a little bit to it. I feel like the sympathetic nervous system gets a bad rap because it's not a necessary part of our nervous system. It's just that too many of us are in it, the sympathetic, too much, too often. We're in that fight, flight way more than we need to be.
Yeah.
So we need to start getting
Balance.
more parasympathetic, more balance. Yeah.
A little bit on that.
Yeah, and so I think we covered a lot today. I feel like, and tomorrow we'll go over And I'm not sure, I think hopefully Susanna will be with us, Nicole will be here, and Adrienne's just gonna be late because she has a wedding to go to, so she's gonna show up for Lotus's 11. We are gonna take Lotus's class because I feel like it's gonna be a nice opportunity for us. We'll be with Gina in the morning. We'll have that little time in between to talk about any questions that might have come up today. And so Lotus's class will go from 11 to 12. We'll have a half hour there, and then we'll have the afternoon after lunch. And I think we'll start, I said next week, I meant tomorrow, we'll start talking about sympathetic, parasympathetic. We'll talk about the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system a little bit, the nerves, and yeah, I think that's it. So why don't we close with, we'll do a chant, we'll chant the 8 limbs first.
So, but we will still be here at 8 o'clock. And we
Yes.
have our first
Yes.
class at 8.
Yeah, we'll be here at 8 o'clock with Gina, and she's gonna do more of a yin, like a yin practice. Yeah. And that'll be nice. That'll be nice to do something a little different. I'm actually gonna try to talk her into doing that on a regular, like on Sunday. Can it be yin every Sunday? Because I think yin is great. I didn't do yoga for a long time, and then I did her yin class, and I literally went out and ran 4 miles that day. Like, I'm a runner, but I hadn't been running at all. My hips felt so good. I started walking, and then you know I was running, and I just kept running and running and running and running, and I ran 4 miles. And I say it's because of her class, because it made me feel so good. It really freed up a lot of like whatever I was holding. It's amazing. She laughs when I tell her that, but
I feel like you're also often like an hour and a half. Sometimes I've been to 2-hour yin classes, and I like at like 7, and you leave, and you're like.
Have you guys heard of the like the yin, where it's like it's like they do like vinyasa and end with yin? That's actually not really, like, yin is supposed to be done cold. Yin is not meant to be a warm practice. So there's a lot of yoga studios are offering Vin-yin. Vinyasa followed by yin. So vinyasa, heating, tapas, creating that heat, and then doing yin, warm, it kind of goes against, because my ex-husband was a yin instructor, and he told me you're supposed to do yin cold. You're not supposed to be warmed up when you do yin. Wow. And then I started seeing all these Vin-yin everywhere. And I'm like, so anyway, just another thing that I thought of. Yeah, it seemed odd that, and some people are like, yeah, I know, but it feels good. So I'm like, okay. Perhaps I need to open this up a little bit. You see, it sounds a little too flat. Let's see. All right, so we'll do the 8 limbs first. We're gonna do it, let's do it 3 times, and then we'll do the Yogas Chittavritti 3 times. Okay, so it's Yama Niyama Asana, Pranayama Pratyahara, Dharana Dhyana Samadhi. 2 more times. Yama Niyama Asana, Pranayama Pratyahara, Dharana Dhyana Samadhi. Last one. Yama Niyama Asana, Pranayama Pratyahara, Dharana Dhyana Samadhi. Good. Same tune. We'll do this 1 time because we're gonna chant the whole thing each key, right? So Yogaschitta Vritti Nirodha, Yogaschitta Vritti Nirodha, Yogaschitta Vritti Nirodha, Yogaschitta Vritti Nirodha. We'll do it 1 more time. Yogaschitta Vritti Nirodha, Yogaschitta Vritti Nirodha, it's 3 o'clock exactly. We'll end with an Om. Right, 3 Shantays. Joking. Om Shantae. Sorry, I get a little silly when I'm tired, but we'll close with an Om and 3 Shantays. And yeah, just laughter is good. You know, laughter is part of our practice. Laughter helps keep us joyous. Right, we'll take a nice deep breath in for Om. Namaste. It's almost like I can't end without saying namaste. You know, it's a greeting and I should have said it at the beginning of class. It's habit now, you know, it's habit. So, all right, ladies, so
Thank
you. See you tomorrow. Get some good rest. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
It was